like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting for March 28, 2018. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Tonight is a special night because we're going to swear in 2 new members of our Hatfield family. And before we get to that, though, 2 of the individuals who were part of that process, who were a critical part of that process, who are with us, and I'd like to honor them by asking them to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Dan Reevy is the chair of our Civil Service Commission, and Jack Hoy is also a member of our Civil Service Commission. I'd ask if you'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
Our pleasure, sir.
All right, is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Thomas. All in favor of approving the agenda that is on your screen, and also before you say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Next, we have a couple of housekeeping items before we get to the fun stuff. Is there a motion to move into the record the consent items listed in your agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. Those items include the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting minutes of February 28, the Board of Commissioners' workshop meeting minutes of March 14, the Treasurer's report for the month of February, bills payable, paid bills in the amount of $195,354.08, and unpaid bills in the amount of $415,308.25. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those items into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We can move those into the record. All right, citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments on agenda items? Right, not seeing anyone run up to the podium, we're going to jump right into 2 special items. Chief, if you would start us off with special item number 1, which is a donation from the Hatfield Police to Lisa's Army, comforting those battling cancer.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I have Detective Sergeant Jay Sorrell and Detective Rich Hoffner please come up? And may I introduce Marie Lunston from Lisa's Army? They're always between 2 thorns. So in the course of doing our jobs, we try to be helpful to the community as much as we can. And some members of our police department have had sufferings of cancer in their families, much like people in the audience have had. So going along with No Shave November and things of that nature, where we gather money to give to charities, I had seen on the internet, so it definitely wasn't my idea, that there was pink patches available. So we thought of breast cancer. How could we help? How could we get some money together to try to cure that scourge? And Jay Sorrell actually put me in touch with Marie, who runs Lisa's Army. And there's actually some paperwork in the back about Lisa's Army if anybody would like to take it and read about it and perhaps make a donation if you can. And Lisa's Army basically gives people comfort goods, correct, during their recovery?
Yep.
So we felt that was very important. As people are sitting in a cold hospital receiving treatment, whether it's a blanket for their legs or whatever, something to read, anything to give them comfort, we felt was a good idea. So we began to sell these patches in the month of November, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we continue to sell them as much as we can, what we have left. And we're actually going to expand this next year, where we're going to have pink police badges that we will wear to bring attention to this cause. With that, we'd like to give you a check, Marie. I think we have $1,500
Thank you.
to give to your cause.
Thank you.
And if I could say, part of that money is from the sale of the patches, and the rest actually came from the men and women of the police department. Our Police Benevolent Association made a generous donation toward that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
quality of the picture come down substantially.
We still have a few patches left. If anybody would like to buy one, you could come and see me.
Okay, that's special item and good deed number 1. Special item and good deed number 2 is the swearing in of 2 officers. And I'd like to ask the Honorable Andrea Duffy, who is our local magisterial district justice, to come forward and swear in or give the oath of office to Alex Marchak, who is one of our newest police officers.
Want to do them both at the same time?
Yep, you know what, I
Judge
can-
Levine come up as well?
So in addition to Officer Marchak, there's also Officer Hagstocks, who, Philip Hagstocks, if you would come forward, we can swear you in one after the other. And then we have some things that we can, that we're going to give to you as part of being the newest members of our force.
Bill, did your mom get here yet?
Oh,
He was actually waiting on his mother and his sister, but his father is here.
well, we can do that. We can wait a bit. If Judge Duffy can start with Officer Marchak first.
Okay.
And then I see that Judge Ed Levin is here, so he can do the swearing in of Officer Hagstocks.
Okay, we can do that. First off, I'd like to say thank you to the Board of Commissioners, and I have to tell the public that our board has been very aggressive in their support of our police department and the needs of the public. So I cannot thank you enough for making sure that we have everything that we need. I'd also like to thank our Civil Service Commission, 2 of which are here. As always, they help us navigate the roadways through these things. No matter how many times we go through the process, I always seem to find something that I forget, and they always remind me that I forgot. So thank you for your guidance. Alex Marchak, here we are. Is your wife Michelle here as well? Michelle, can you come up? Is your little guy, does he want to come up too? So Alex actually grew up in the Pembridge area. He graduated from Pembridge High School in 2007. And after attending Bucks County Community College, he moved to Nashville, Tennessee. And there he was a member of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. Alex and his family wanted to return to the area to be amongst friends and family, and he looks forward to serving the Hatfield community. Many papers.
Keith, do you want to bring everybody to the front so we have a little more room, better picture opportunity? We have a microphone.
Very happy to be here and after me, I, Alex Marchak,
I, Alex Marchak,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
I will discharge the duties of fidelity.
With fidelity.
I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the ordinance of Hatfield Township and impartially
impartially
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
Moral obligation
This is my moral obligation
and my sworn duty.
and my sworn duty.
And I pledge
I pledge
to never betray,
to never betray
my badge,
my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public's trust.
public's trust.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, his mom. It's just... Takes that call, Phil. If I can rise to the occasion.
Folks, if I can have your attention, we're actually going to move forward with the meeting before we swear in Officer Hagstad before, so his family can get here. And that, because that's really important, and that's kind of consistent with what I'm about to say. And I want to welcome Alex Marchek as well. For the two of you, I know you've been here for a short period of time, but if you haven't figured it out already, not only from the fantastic men and women that you serve with, hopefully this tonight gives you a little bit more insight. Being a part of a family is very important to us. And so having your family here, your full family, and taking a couple extra minutes to make sure that your family here is of utmost importance to us. So the new members of the new officers who've kind of joined us in the last couple of years have heard me say this before, and I want them to hear me say it again. This truly is a family. Now, this is a family that you're going to work with them more closely than you will with the people up on this dais, but understand that you have the full support 24 hours a day of all the people on that dais as well. And that's what separates us from hopefully, everyone else. We treat each other that way. Our police officers have had ups and downs over the years, and I'd like to think that the township as a whole has supported them. You do an absolutely fantastic job. There has never been a moment, there has never been a moment when any of the people on the dais have thought anything other than we have the best force all around. And we're very proud to be able to say that, and we're very proud to be able to say welcome to our family. So with that, let me give Alex Marchek his officer badge and a very great welcome from Hatfield Township as a whole.
Okay, so Phil's mom and sister came in. Phil Hagstad is joined tonight by his parents, Stacy and Mike, along with his sister, Abigail. I believe Abigail is going to be holding the Bible for you. So Phil is a graduate of Westchester University, and he then put himself through the Temple Police Academy. As a matter of fact, he just graduated in February of this year, so he's relatively new to law enforcement, but we're glad to have him. He's a volunteer firefighter with the Abington Fire Company, and like Alex, he looks forward to serving our residents and working with our fine officers. So here we go.
Do you want somebody to take a video for you?
Alex, can you grab his oath of office out of my folder there, please?
I, Phil Hagstotz,
I, Phil Hagstotz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the
Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office.
Obey and defend
I will support, obey
Hatfield Township
the ordinances of Hatfield Township
and Hatfield Borough,
and Hatfield Borough,
and partially and to the best of my ability.
impartially and to the best of my ability.
My badge,
My badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
So my words a few minutes ago ring true for both of these officers. You know, I said to your son, who's a little young, who's probably not going to remember this, but your sister, remember this night, because this is a big moment for the two of them. It's also a very big moment for the entire force and all of Hatfield Township. So, Phil, on behalf of Hatfield Township, welcome and congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
In ending, I want to thank the guys and girls from our police department. As President Zipfel said, I think we have a very fine group of people. And with that, I hear from time to time we have so many new faces on our police department. We hold public events and we try to get out and broadcast ourselves to the public as much as possible. When you see these guys, please come up and say hello, greet people. I've known Bill Forrest, unfortunately for him, for almost 35 years. Same with Ray. Build relationships with these officers like that. They're going to be the ones around. They're going to be the ones coming to your homes. So we don't all necessarily have to be friends, but make acquaintances. Recognize a face and join us in doing the job for you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, couple of quick thank yous. I think a couple of the people who I want to thank just ran out the door. You know, whenever we have a swearing in, whether it be of an officer or an elected official, Judges Duffy and Levin have been fantastic, that they have come over and taken their time. Actually, they are still here. I want to thank you very much for taking your time to come out. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us because this is a big night for Hatfield Township, and the fact that the two of you come out and take your time to be a part of that is very important to us, and it really means a lot. Earlier, I mentioned a couple of people who led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So those of you who don't know what the Civil Service Commission does, Dan Reevy and Jack Hoy are here, and Joe McGurman is a longtime member as well. They assist from a resident's perspective in the hiring of the police officers that you just met. And so that is a very serious position because the public trust is placed in the hands of these individuals. So I want to thank the two of you, well, all three of you, two of you are here tonight. I want to thank you for all the hard work that you put into that, and we really appreciate it. All right, so all the special fun events are over. The rest of you, you're probably all desperate to get out of here. So now we have all of our housekeeping items. We're going to move on to our action items. So first is Resolution 18-13. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the S&B Land Development 45 West Orvilla Road?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rogers. Ken, do you have this?
Yes, thank you.
S&B Land Development is probably better known to most of us as Spaniel's Service Center on Orvilla Road. Brad Spaniel is here this evening. This application was discussed 2 weeks ago at our workshop meeting. It is an addition to the service center to allow some expansion of their business, which is a good thing. It's been through the planning process. It's been through the Planning and Zoning Committee, and it has been recommended by our Planning Commission. There was a approval discussed at the workshop meeting. The resolution has been prepared, it's been distributed, and it's been signed by Mr. Spaniel. So at this point, everything is in order for the board to approve this resolution.
All right, any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 18-13, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Next, second action item, Resolution 18-15. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the Clemens Food Group amended land development waiver?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Rogers. Ken, do you have the next couple here, right?
The next couple, yes.
Yep. If you would take us through action item number 2.
Action item number 2, Clemens Food Group. This is a project which received a waiver of land development from the Board of Commissioners a couple of years ago. The project was not built. It was still in the planning stages. During the planning stages, the size of the project increased from about 24,000 square feet to approximately 26,000 square feet. And because of that, the resolution that was previously passed by the board needs to be revised and passed again. There was a slight increase in landscaping fees and a slight increase in the traffic impact fees, both of which have been acknowledged and will be paid by the applicant. And we do have a signed copy of this resolution submitted to us as well, so this is ready to go.
All right. Any questions or comments from commissioners or residents? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 18-15, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Third action item, is there a motion for approval for the Clemens Corner accept the dedication of right-of-way?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Rogers. Ken?
Yes, and this one is a right-of-way dedication which was offered by the Clemens Family Corporation when they developed the Clemens Corner project, which was right at the corner of Clemens Road and 40-foot Road. There was right-of-way offered to the township. It appeared as a note on the plan. What we're doing this evening is simply taking that right-of-way, which was offered to the township. So it's something that was contemplated by the plan and anticipated by the commissioners. We're just going through the formal motions this evening.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion is approved. Action item number 4. Is there a motion for approval of, actually it's Resolution 18-16 for the condemnation and agreement of sale for 1826 Orvilla Road? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Andrus. I'm not sure if our...
I'll take this one, Mr.
I was going
President.
to say,
if you
Aaron,
don't
do you have
mind.
this one? Thank you.
Sir, by the way, I was getting a little stressed out when a 2-year-old was yelling "Daddy." I was thinking I was back at home, but it's good that I had no responsibility there. I think we know the routine for this one by now, Commissioners. This is the third of the 3 homes that are going to be acquired to help purchase all of the right-of-way to realign Cowpath and Revilla. As we all know, the township acquired the gas station roughly 2 years ago. The 2 homes that bookend this one that is designated on the slide last week, 2 weeks ago, and tonight's the third. Settlement will occur next Thursday here in the Township building. So this is the final 3. Township will then own all of the right-of-way to realign this very dangerous intersection. We'll talk a little bit more about on the next motion, but this motion is the formal condemnation, which again was agreed upon by the seller. So this is not adversarial in any way, and then the agreement of sale as well needs to be approved.
For those of you who are following this and maybe missed our last meeting, we had the other agreements of sale, the 2 other agreements of sale approved at our last meeting, and so we're very pleased that we're able to have the third now on tonight's agenda so that we can obtain all 3 of those locations, not only for their benefit because they have been fantastic residents wonderfully patient through the process associated with this, and now we have the ability to improve that intersection. So unless there's any other questions or comments, I will.
I'll just say, just looking at this, I mean, we're gonna cut a road through there, but we're gonna pick up a lot of green open space through this deal here.
Without question.
Right, that's
Safer,
right.
greener.
So with that, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 18-16, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right, action item number 5, Resolution 18-17. Is there a motion for approval of the PennDOT MTF grant submission for Cowpath and Villa realignment? Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. Aaron, I think you have this one as well.
So we're going at it again. Commissioners know that we applied for this grant last year, actually more than a year ago. It took several months for the awards to come out, I think actually 18. So this is it. Now that the acquisition have been made for the right-of-way, this is the final piece. If the township is awarded this grant through PennDOT, there should be no additional local matches because all of the acquisitions will count for the local match. What we're applying for is total cost of the entire project. So hopefully the awards come out in the fall, and hopefully we are one of those that they're getting the funding, and then we'll be able to finally realign this intersection. We're as close as we've ever been, and this is going to be the last step. Obviously, the moves by the commissioners over the last month, as well as over the last few years, hopefully will put Hatfield in a position to move up in the grant applications. Again, $240 million requested, $40 million given. So it's an uphill battle, but Hatfield Township commissioners have done everything they possibly could do to put us in a good position to get this grant. Reminder, too, to realign 2 state roads.
All right.
We've acquired the right-of-way to realign 2 state roads, so it would be nice if they would give us the grant to do it.
Great. Commissioners are fixing the PennDOT problem.
Well put, very well put. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 18-17, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. All right, Resolution 18-18. Is there a motion for approval with regard to the Cowpath-Berge traffic signal permit modification?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Rogers. Aaron, I think you have this one as well.
Sure, thanks, Mr. President. Not very exciting here, but we did discuss this at length 2 weeks ago. I'll just quickly summarize. PP&L is upgrading its lines throughout this area, and in conjunction with that project, PP&L will be moving this very large structure over to here, and therefore will be interfering with the pedestrian crossing that is currently there. So in order to accommodate that move, the Hatfield Township must then relocate this pedestrian crossing to the other side, as well as construct one of these stubs as well, so that it's more accessible. Again, all costs associated with these improvements will be paid for by PPL. This is just a resolution approving these modifications that we have to do anytime any changes are made to any traffic signal in the township.
All right, any questions about this housekeeping item? Hearing none, I'll call a question. All in favor of Resolution 18-18, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 7. Is there a motion for approval of Resolution 18-19, which is the HTMA budget for 2018 and 2019?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Rogers. Aaron, I guess you can jump.
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy. I think we should have Pete present the budget before the police swearing in tonight. Probably would have been a better venue
Right,
for him.
right.
We had a very captive audience. I'm sure they would have enjoyed that presentation. Just to summarize, every year the township has to approve the authority's budget. They're on an April 1 fiscal calendar, so Pete Dorney was here 2 weeks ago to present. And the bottom line is that rates aren't going up, and currently HTMA rates are among the lowest 10 of the 75 sewer providers in the region, and they're staying that way. So I think Pete and his staff, like Commissioner Andrews said 2 weeks ago, they do a great job containing cost and providing a good service.
I know we've said this about them before, same great service, same great price. All right. I think it does. At times it probably does. All right. All in favor of Resolution 18-19, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 8. Is there a motion to award the bids that are listed in your agenda with regard to the 2018 pool chemicals bid for heating and oil? Motion by Commissioner Andrus, second by Commissioner Rogers. Aaron, if you'd walk us through this one.
Sure, another sign of spring here. We're awarding these bids for the chemicals for the Aquatic Center. 7 chemicals that I don't know what they are. I'm kidding, but we know they're important and to keep our residents and customers safe. Again, Hatfield Township a few years ago, just as a reminder, created a consortium of communities that have public swimming pools, and we bid all together as a group. So these prices being awarded tonight are not just for Hatfield, but for about 10 other communities that have joined. And it was that volume that was created that helped us generate some lower prices over the last few years. So definitely Dave O'Donnell, the aquatics operations manager, certainly deserves some praise for his efforts in that. And these prices slightly, marginally increased from last year, but nothing significant. So those will be awarded. Then I can talk about item number 9 after, if you don't mind.
Problem. Any questions or comments with regard to action item number 8 before we vote on it? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion to award those bids, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, those are approved. Number 9, is there a motion to reject the bids for gasoline, diesel fuel, and propane gas? Motion by Commissioner Andrus, second by Commissioner Thomas. Aaron, I think you were about to mention this as well.
Sure, same routine as last year. For whatever reason, the first go-around with these bids only generated 1 bidder for each of these items, and would like to see more competition for these prices, which is what we did last year. Our round 2 generated about 5 or 6 bidders for each and a much lower price. So we'd like to do the same this year. We don't know exactly why, other than maybe the weather got in the way. The bid opening was a few days, it was rescheduled, and it was a few days after the big storm we had. But would like to go out for a bid again, and hopefully we get more competition at a better price.
All right, makes sense. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Action item number 10, is there a motion for approval for the Delaware Valley Regional Finance Authority Disclosure Agreement?
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Andrus. Aaron, I think you've got 2 more left on your list.
Yes, sir. Two more, and we're done. Mr. President, thanks. This is not like a non-disclosure agreement that we've heard a lot about in the news lately, but this is a disclosure agreement and a continuing disclosure agreement with Delaware Valley Regional Financing Authority, which is the group that has lended all of the money to Hatfield for the Aquatic Center, the Public Works Building, and the Hatfield Township Building. This is just a housekeeping item. They're asking all of their clients to update the continual disclosure agreement, essentially stating that we will let them know if any of the payments would be late. We will let them know if anything should change in our financial position or anything that could affect our ability to repay this debt, which we don't anticipate. So this is just the housekeeping to approve the disclosure agreement, and I'll get it back to them tomorrow.
Okay. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Last action item for the night, Resolution 18-20. Is there a motion for approval of the fee adjustments that were previously discussed? I think it was at our last meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Andrus. Aaron, I think you want to probably finish off the night with this last item.
I'd be happy to, thank you. We did discuss this a few weeks ago. We also discussed it at length at a Finance Committee meeting. Another housekeeping item, we usually have a motion similar to this along with the budget every year, but this year was slightly different because we hired a third party to analyze all of our fee structures within our building department. What that third party found was that in several of the situations where Hatfield was issuing permits, the township was losing money. And I know fees can be a dirty word as well as taxes, but really fees exist so the taxes can remain low. Fees exist so that residents don't have to subsidize private development. If your neighbor's getting a swimming pool, why should you have to pay through your taxes to pay for all the inspections, all of the costs associated with that improvement? So these fees help the township cover its costs to administer a lot of the permits. We find with these marginal increases scattered throughout the fees, and it's in the packet in the fee schedule, most of them building related. Even with the increase, and we try to be competitive with our neighboring communities, the township will still, in several circumstances, have a small loss. But with these adjustments, we'll be closer to breaking even than we have been, and it makes sense to cover as much costs as possible to administer these permits. So
There were a couple of fees that were lowered also, weren't
And
there?
there were some that were adjusted, exactly.
Lower and some eliminated and stuff.
Correct.
So, I mean, it was a fair assessment.
And it was based on the recommendation of the third party, and what's good with doing that is that they take all of the costs associated with going into each permit, every hand it touched, every aspect of it. So some needed adjusted down, but really only a handful at the end of the day, and we'll get back into our normal routine of doing this with the budget if needed, and we may not need to do this for a while, except for some of the other fees, so. Again, housekeeping item, making some adjustments to cover costs.
All right, any questions, comments? I'll call the question. All in favor of Resolution 18-20, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. All right, folks, that's the last bit of action items. The only item we have remaining is citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments on non-agenda items? All right, doesn't look to be, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.